I just got home literally hours ago, and this was waiting for me. I've been waiting for this for a while. You guys know I love and have my Nags guitars, my own model. So it always makes sense for me to play it. Besides the fact that I love it, why am I excited about this guitar? If you remember when I went to Australia last year, I had to get on a plane and go headline a festival in Perth, the West Australian Guitar Festival, or outside of Perth in Margaret River, with no guitars. I had to borrow guitars from the local music store there. And that's because they had a new policy in Australia, no guitars on the plane. And I did manage to fly to Melbourne with both my guitars, actually, in a double gig bag. But that particular morning, my drummer, for whatever reason, called me over when he was checking in and decided to ask the people behind the counter if it was okay for me to bring that guitar on board, which reply was no. So I had to leave that guitar, those two guitars, my Nags and my Godin, in Brisbane, and have my friend Michael Turner come back and pick them up. And I got on the plane without it. Traveling in Europe sometimes, and it's a little tricky getting guitars on. I fly Southwest a lot because they don't usually hassle me about the guitars because I have a little status, so I get on the plane early and stuff like that. If there's room, they usually have to let you on with the guitar. I was talking to my friend Philip McKnight. You guys know I was on his show last week, and I asked him about his Delos. He had just done a vacation and took a Headless Delos, and it seemed intriguing because it's small. And I've tried actual travel guitars. They didn't particularly work for me, especially a main guitar. Anyway, Kiesel doesn't necessarily make a travel guitar, but they make a bunch of different headless guitars that I think you can use as a travel guitar. So Phil put me in contact with Kiesel, and they obliged. They were into making me a guitar that I can use as a travel guitar. My concept is to get on the plane with this, which is smaller than a normal guitar, and if I could find if it fits in there, if I could find a tennis racket case, because they never stop tennis players. If I could find a tennis racket bag that it fits in, I would definitely do it. Anyway, so I would get on the plane with this guitar and check in my Quantum Industries case that holds 3 guitars, 1 or 2 of my Nags Severn LMs, and my Godin, or the Emerald, one of my nylon string guitars. I have an Emerald nylon string and a Godin nylon string. And then I would get on a plane with this. And the reason I want to get on a plane and off a plane with a guitar and my rig or some sort of rig is that I've had airlines temporarily lose stuff. And as you guys know, I can't afford to miss shows. So if I get on a plane with a guitar that I could play a show with and they temporarily lose my main guitars, I'm not thrilled about that, but at least I can do the show and not have to borrow a guitar from someone that I've never touched before. I've had much good luck getting on planes with guitars, but it's getting tougher and tougher. And when I fly like United, it's like, yes, let me prove that it fits. That's the key thing. Always be nice. Always be very nice, because your day could end if you're not, and you probably won't get the guitar on board. Only one time, I was late getting to the gate, and they wanted to. And I was, if you're in that last group of people trying to get on, it's really hard to get on with just a suitcase. So they wanted to take my rolling bag, which had the Fractal in it, and other stuff, and the guitar. And I said, is it possible to catch the next flight? Because I was really late. They were just about to close the door. And I guess that was Southwest too. And I think because I had status on it, they were like, sure. So they put me on the next flight. Every time I fly into Sheridan, Wyoming to do a show, it's on United. It's the only airline that flies into Sheridan. And it's small planes. And now I've proven that my guitars fit, but I have to do it almost every time. I've tried American has been a little tricky sometimes. Delta, I have a way of getting around it on Delta, which I won't talk about here. But if you know me and you want to know, I'll tell you personally. In Europe, you never know. And I did fly in the last time I flew in Russia. They have a policy of no guitars on planes, so that was very tricky in Russia. All right, so here we go. Okay, so I have not opened this. As far as I got, like I said, as far as I've gotten is opening the top part, and we shall see. Now, I heard good things about the Kiesel case, but it is a little bit bigger than the Strandberg case. But I've heard really good things about protection. So this is a packing slip, custom. Whoa, all these things. Okay, let's look at this after. I mean, it's a sturdy box, but they must really believe in this case because there is no internal packing. There's no peanuts or anything like that. This is pretty small. You can see it. It is pretty small. 3 feet, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what the length of this guitar is. I'll look it up. So inside here is a little no snacks. Chocolate should come with the guitar. It's a tremolo bar. It's very thick. This has, I believe, a locking tremolo. And the Dunlop strap locks that I like. And also, I do want to say, Kiesel sent me this guitar. They made it for me. They sent me the guitar in exchange for doing some videos. And so they're not influencing me talking about the guitar in any way. So they sent me the guitar. They made it for me specifically to use as a travel guitar. They don't call it a travel guitar. I'm calling it a travel guitar. It's just a headless guitar for Kiesel. But for me, it's a travel guitar. I know that Kiesel's an American guitar company and they make great guitars in general. And my friends that have a Headless Delos were all like, yes, you're going to really dig it. So let me put this tremolo bar here. Oh, okay. So it's got my colors. There it is. It's got my colors. This case is pretty beefy. I'm gonna stick that over here. It's tiny. It feels tiny. Does it look tiny on screen? It's, yes, a Strat vibe. The color looks honeyburst. The neck is not too thin. It's thinner than my Nags, but it's not. I don't think it's Ibanez thin. It's got a maple. It actually looks like 3 pieces, and then or 3 pieces, 2 pieces of maple and probably mahogany. I'm never good at identifying woods. And there's my pickups. It's got DiMaggio. I asked DiMaggio to send him some pickups to put in, and that's the Area 67s, the neck in the middle, and then DiMaggio Satch track in the bridge. And this is a tremolo. Obviously, with a tremolo, it's going to be, well, anything with a headless is locking. I do have to look up how to change strings on this. It's a new guitar. It does need to be tuned. Smooth. It's more like a satin finish. This neck joint is pretty, yeah, it fits nicely. Different than the Nags on my model, but it feels nice. Cool. Got a little belly cut there. In this little area. Put your hands. Oh, see, I'm going up here. Woo. This reminds me of tuning on a Floyd Rose. I used to tune the outside string E, E, B, A, and then D, G. There might be a better way to do it, but that's how I always did it when I had Floyd Roses. It is pretty loud, unplugged. I could tell the string spacing is different. I wonder what it is. It's nice. But it's taken me a minute to get used to it. So it is set up nice. I think it's 10s instead of 9s. And I have weak hands, so 10s are only going to take me so far. After 50 years of playing, coming up on 51 years of playing. This is very cool, and it's really light. Maybe these are nice. But this is way cool. I know nothing about the Headless. I am now in the Headless world. So I guess the key thing is, if I were to carry this on board and I check my other guitars, and then the airline loses my guitars for a little bit, not permanently, but I've had the airlines lose my clothes. Fortunately, I was able to get on a plane with my guitar going to Rome once, and I landed with my carry-on, which had the Fractal in the bag and my guitars, and but my clothes took 5 days to catch up to me. All right, Headless Delos, 6-string with trim. Alder body, yes. Translucent Honeyburst. That's the color. All right. Translucent Honeyburst. Clear satin matte finish. Three-piece maple neck, I was right, with a walnut stripe. I thought it was mahogany, but it's a walnut stripe. Rosewood fingerboard, 22 fret option. That's right. Scale length is 25.5, 25.5. Dot inlays. The fretboard radius is 10, which is interesting because I learned last week on Phil's show that so my NAG Severin LM is a 8.5, which I adjust to instantly. Modern Strats are 9.5, and I not really bonded with many Strats. I have one Strat over here that I'm not totally convinced it's a 9.5 fretboard radius, but this is a 10-inch fretboard radius. So that makes sense. It's a little flatter than the 9.5, not as round as my Severin LM, but I'm not having that issue with it at all. 3 single coil pickup configuration. Yep. My pickups, the custom pickups that I sent, black chrome plated hardware. Strap locks by Dunlop. Yes. Thank you for being part of the family. All right. Kiesel Guitars. Thank you very, very much. This is awesome. I'm excited to get this out and to be able to fly and have the confidence that, not that I want to take a chance on losing my guitars. If the airline were to misplace my guitars, I feel confident I can do a show with this. This is going to work for me. I'm going to probably see if these are not 10s, put 9s on it. Got the new Jody head strap. It came in a while ago. Let's see what the balance is like standing up. It hangs really nicely. I'm surprised. This is not to replace my NAG Severin LM. I absolutely love that guitar. This is to travel with a peace of mind and know that I can check my main guitars and still get on a plane with the guitar, and less likely for them to ask me to check it or anything like that, and still be able to get off the plane and do a show. Airlines have lost one bag completely that had a Fractal pedal board in it, as well as clothes and merchandise. And then several times they've misplaced bags and I have to wait overnight. AirTags, you should put AirTags or some sort of tracking device in your guitars, especially if you fly with them. I have also been in another country where I had to check the nylon string, and it barely made it there in time for the show. I think it showed up as I started the show. Anyway, I want to give a big shout out to Brandon and everyone at Kiesel Guitars for making this for me. This is wonderful. I'm very happy with it. I'm calling it a travel guitar. They don't call it a travel guitar. It's just a guitar. It's a Headless Delos. They make a non-headless Delos, a Delos with a head. But this is the Headless Delos.